Mao Zedong. A Study of Physical Education. Part 1. Extracted from Hsin Ching-nein, April 1917. Transcribed by the Maoist Documentation Project. To read the original document that influenced this audio, please visit the Marxists Internet Archive. Our nation is wanting in strength. The military spirit has not been encouraged. The physical condition of the population deteriorates daily. This is an extremely disturbing phenomenon. The promoters of physical education have not grasped the essence of the problem, and therefore, their efforts, though prolonged, have not been effective. If this state continues, our weakness will increase further. To attain our goals and to make our influence felt are external matters, results. The development of our physical strength is an internal matter, a cause. If our bodies are not strong, we will be afraid as soon as we see enemy soldiers, and then how can we attain our goals and make ourselves respected? Strength depends on drill, and drill depends on self-awareness. The advocates of physical education have not failed to devise various methods. If their efforts have nevertheless remained fruitless, it is because external forces are insufficient to move the heart. If we wish to make physical education effective, we must influence people's subjective attitudes and stimulate them to become conscious of physical education. If one becomes conscious of the problem, a program for physical education will come easily, and we will attain our goals and make our influence felt as a matter of course. 1. An explanation of physical education. Physical education helps to maintain life. East and West differ in their interpretations of it. Chuang-Tzu followed the example of the cook, Confucius drew on the lesson of the archer and the charioteer. In Germany, physical education has gained the greatest popularity. Fencing has spread all over the country. Japan has Bushido. Moreover, recently, following the traditions of our country, Judo has developed there to an admirable degree. When we examine these examples, we see that they all begin with the study of physiology. 2. The place of physical education in our life. Physical education complements education in virtue and knowledge. Moreover, both virtue and knowledge reside in the body. Without the body there would be neither virtue nor knowledge. Those who understand this are rare. People stress either knowledge or morality. Knowledge is certainly valuable, for it distinguishes man from animals. But wherein is knowledge contained? Morality, too, is valuable. It is the basis of the social order and of equality between ourselves and others. But where does virtue reside? It is the body that contains knowledge and houses virtue. It contains knowledge like a chariot and houses morality like a chamber. The body is the chariot that contains knowledge, the chamber that houses virtue. Children enter primary school when they reach the proper age. In primary school, particular attention should be paid to the development of the body. Progress in knowledge and moral training are of secondary importance. Nourishment and care should be primary, teaching and discipline complementary. At present, most people do not know this, and the result is that children become ill, or even die young, because of studying. In middle and higher schools, stress should be placed equally on all three aspects of education. At present, most people overemphasize knowledge. During the years of middle school, the development of the body is not yet completed. Since today the factors favoring physical development are few, and those deterring it numerous, won't physical development tend to cease? In the educational system of our country, required courses are as thick as the hairs on a cow. Even an adult with a tough, strong body could not stand it, let alone those who have not reached adulthood, or those who are weak. Speculating on the intentions of the educators, one is led to wonder whether they did not design such an unwieldy curriculum in order to exhaust the students, to trample on their bodies and ruin their lives. How stupid! The only calamity that can befall a man is not to have a body. What else is there to worry about? If one seeks to improve one's body, other things will follow automatically. For the improvement of the body, nothing is more effective than physical education. Physical education really occupies the first place in our lives. When the body is strong, then one can advance speedily in knowledge and morality, and reap far-reaching advantages. It should be regarded as an important part of our study. Learning has its essential and its accessory parts, and affairs have their end and their beginning. To know what is first and what is last will bring one closer to the proper way. From the Great Learning, one of the 4 Confucian classics. This is exactly what I intend to say. 3. Previous abuses of physical education and my method for remedying them. The 3 forms of education are equally important. Students hitherto have paid much attention to moral and intellectual education but have neglected physical education. The unfortunate consequence has been that they bend their backs and bow their heads. They have white and slender hands. From 19 Old Poems, a famous collection of poems of the Han Dynasty. When they climb a hill they are short of breath, and when they walk in water they get cramps in their feet. That is why Yen Tzu had a short life, and Chia I died young. As for Wang Po and Lu Chaolin, the one died young, and the other became a paralytic. All these were men of high attainments in morality and knowledge. But there comes a day when the body cannot be preserved. And then morality and wisdom are destroyed along with it. Only the men of the north are able to lie under arms and meet death without regret. From the Doctrine of the Mean, one of the Confucian classics. In the regions of Yan and Chao there were many heroes and martyrs, and warriors often came from Liangchao. At the beginning of the Qing dynasty, Yan Shichai and Li Kangchu practiced both the literary and military arts. Yan Shichai traveled over 1,000 li, about 0.5 kilometers, to the north of the Great Wall to learn the art of fencing. He contended with brave soldiers and won. Hence he said, if one lacks either the literary or the military arts, is this the true way? As far as we, students are concerned, the installation of a school and the instruction given by its teachers are only the external and objective aspect. We also have the internal, the subjective aspect. When one's decision is made in his heart, then all parts of the body obey its orders. Fortune and misfortune are of our own seeking. I wish to be virtuous, and lo, virtue is at hand. From the Confucian Analects. How much more this is true of physical education. If we do not have the will to act, then even though the exterior and the objective are perfect, they still cannot benefit us. Hence, when we speak of physical education, we should begin with individual initiative. 4. The utility of physical education. Because man is an animal, movement is most important for him. And because he is a rational animal, his movements must have a reason. But why is movement deserving of esteem? Why is rational movement deserving of esteem? To say that movement helps in earning a living is trivial. To say that movement protects the nation is lofty. Yet neither is the basic reason. The object of movement is simply to preserve our life and gladden our hearts. Chu Shi stresses respect, and Lu Chuyuan stresses tranquility. Tranquility is tranquil, and respect is not action, it is merely tranquil. Lao Tzu said that immobility was the ultimate goal. The Buddha sought quiet and methods of contemplation. The art of contemplation is esteemed by the disciples of Chu and Lu. Recently there have been those who, following these masters, have spoken of methods of contemplation, boasted about the effectiveness of their methods, and expressed contempt for those who exercise, thereby ruining their own bodies. This is perhaps one way, but I would not venture to imitate it. In my humble opinion, there is only movement in heaven and on earth. One often hears it said that the mind and the body cannot both be perfect at the same time, that those who use their minds are deficient in physical health and those with a robust body are generally deficient in mental capacities. This kind of talk is also absurd and applies only to those who are weak in will and feeble in action, which is generally not the case of superior men. Confucius died at the age of 72, and I have not heard that his body was not healthy. The Buddha traveled continually, preaching his doctrine, and he died at an old age. Jesus had the misfortune to die unjustly. As for Mohammed, he subjugated the world holding the Quran in his left hand and a sword in his right. All these men were called sages and are among the greatest thinkers. Physical education not only strengthens the body but also enhances our knowledge. There is a saying, civilize the mind and make savage the body. This is an apt saying. In order to civilize the mind, one must first make savage the body. If the body is made savage, then the civilized mind will follow. Knowledge consists in knowing the things in the world, and in discerning their laws. In this matter we must rely on our body, because direct observation depends on the ears and eyes, and reflection depends on the brain. The ears and eyes, as well as the brain, may be considered parts of the body. When the body is perfect, then knowledge is also perfect. Hence one can say that knowledge is acquired indirectly through physical education. Physical strength is required to undertake the study of the numerous modern sciences, whether in school or through independent study. He who is equal to this is the man with a strong body, he who is not equal to it is the man with a weak body. The division between the strong and the weak determines the area of responsibilities each can assume. Physical education not only enhances knowledge, it also harmonizes the sentiments. The power of the sentiments is extremely great. The ancients endeavored to discipline them with reason. Hence they asked, is the master, for example, reason, always alert? They also said, one should discipline the heart with reason. But reason proceeds from the heart, and the heart resides in the body. We often observe that the weak are enslaved by their sentiments and are incapable of mastering them. Those whose senses are imperfect or whose limbs are defective are often enslaved by excessive passion, and reason is incapable of saving them. Hence it may be called an invariable law that when the body is perfect and healthy, the sentiments are also correct. Physical education not only harmonizes the emotions, it also strengthens the will. The great utility of physical education lies precisely in this. The principal aim of physical education is military heroism. Such objects of military heroism as courage, dauntlessness, audacity, and perseverance are all matters of will. Let me explain this with an example. To wash our feet in ice water makes us acquire courage and dauntlessness, as well as audacity. In general, any form of exercise, if pursued continuously, will help to train us in perseverance. Long-distance running is particularly good training in perseverance. My strength uprooted mountains. My energy dominated the world. From a poem attributed to Shang Yu. This is courage. If I don't behead the Lu Lan, I swear I will not return, this is dauntlessness. To replace the family with the nation, this is audacity. Yu was away from his home for 8 years, and though he thrice passed the door of it, he did not enter. Reference to Mencius. This is perseverance. All these can be accomplished merely on the basis of daily physical education. The will is the antecedent of a man's career. Those whose bodies are small and frail are flippant in their behavior. Those whose skin is flabby are soft and dull in will. Thus does the body influence the mind. The purpose of physical education is to strengthen the muscles and the bones. As a result, knowledge is enhanced, the sentiments are harmonized, and the will is strengthened. The muscles and the bones belong to our body, knowledge sentiments, and will belong to our heart. When both the body and the heart are at ease, one may speak of perfect harmony. Hence, physical education is nothing else but the nourishing of our lives and the gladdening of our hearts.